Hello and welcome to the third attempt to film this video because I'm trying to kill my echo. I don't know what it is. I keep getting echo issues. Sometimes I have other videos in the past I've recorded that don't have echo, but my last few have had echo, so I just keep trying to figure out what's going on, where to position my camera to get the best non-echo sphere. And all the attempts I was trying, it just didn't work. So I'm going back to the original ones that sometimes didn't have echo on them. So we will see. But today, I am doing a dual TBR because there are two theme months happening in the future, in the month of June. And that is June on the Range, which is by Michael K. Vaughan, and also Summer Slashers, which is by Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. Who would have thunk? And I wanted to do both because Western fiction is outside of my comfort zone and literally slashers is my comfort zone. So the dichotomy between the two is just something I will enjoy to do. So first off, I have two anthologies that I will be reading this month. I always like to have anthologies on the go, and I thought I would have a slasher anthology, which is Ripper. Not my only Jack the Ripper anthology, by the way, surprisingly enough. And that has a number of stories, some of which I may have already read. A lot of older collections of anthology fiction, especially horror genre, have Jack the Ripper tales. So I might have read some of these, especially some of the more famous ones. But I'm sure there are plenty I haven't read, and I'm excited to do that. And then also a Weird West anthology, which I got from the library, straight out of Tombstone. And so I thought that would be fun. Weird West is a way to ease my way into the Western genre, but I'm not only going Weird West stuff. I thought if I was going to cover Westerns, I gotta do it properly, and I gotta try and do something I've never done, which is just reading Western fiction. So this is Slocum and the Yellowback Trail, written by Jake Logan, and it is a very famous Western, apparently. This is a series that's been going on forever. Literally, it seems like every paperback of a Western has a bajillion titles, so I have no idea if this is actually a good, famous one. I got this for 25 cents at my local thrift store. And I don't know. I've watched a bunch of Western movies, but I've never read a Western fiction book. So I'm going to give it a chance. We will see. Next is a slasher book, which is The Summer is Ended and We Are Not Yet Saved. This one, really hard to track down. For whatever reason, this was released in 2013, but for whatever reason, there's no ebook or anything available, and copies I have seen go for well over $100 online. I was lucky my local library actually had two copies, so I was interested. This is like a summer camp slasher book, and I've heard good things about it, and it has a lot of behind-the-scenes fun little tidbits because part of the book does take place on a slasher set, so I thought, oh, that sounds cool. Next up, the novelization for Wes Craven's Shocker, which is a movie starring Mitch Pileggi from The X-Files as Horace Pinker, as a serial killer who is part electricity and part television. He prays to the TV gods, and, that's how it goes. He becomes evil TV god killer man. Clearly, Wes Craven was trying to make another Nightmare on Elm Street type character. This was a one-and-done character. We never ever saw the further adventures of Horace Pinker. But this has one of the very funniest little blurbs on the back that I've ever seen. It says, Shocker is a novel of psychological and supernatural horror that follows in the tradition of Stephen King's The Shining. I guarantee that is not true. But also, so you guys are going to call novelizations trash? Well, this novelization follows in the psychological tradition of The Shining. Obviously a joke. This one is a very trashy movie, and I'm sure this is a very trashy novel, but I'm sure it will be lots of fun. Next up, a little western I got from a little free library. Don't know anything about it. Texas Trackers by Doyle Trent. It just has a cool cover. I guess I want to see how people gunfight in the Old West. I got it for free from a little free library, so can't go wrong there. We will see. Next up, Intruder by Thomas Altman. Thomas Altman is actually a pseudonym for Campbell Black, who wrote a number of novelizations, including the novelization for Dressed to Kill, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a few others. Surprisingly enough, Campbell Black is a real name, Thomas Altman is the pseudonym. Not sure why. I read Thomas Altman's Black Christmas last year, and I love that book. It's kind of a scummy book, as in, like, a lot of the characters are scummy in it, but I think the writing is really well done, and I just thought it was a really kind of mean but well-written slasher, and I got a lot of enjoyment from that. I also just love Christmas in general, and I thought I would try to do another Thomas Altman book, and this is the only one in his collection so far that I've tracked down that I think could also be a slasher. So listen to the little blurb on the back. A stranger is bringing a gift to Los Cosmos. A gift no women can endure. The Intruder. Caroline Cassidy is beautiful and bored. When a wealthy, attractive stranger enters her life, she has no reason to fear. Tobias Manning, sharp ex-cop and now security officer in Los Cosmos, is bored too, but he likes it that way. Until one by one, the women of this wealthy, fashionable community begin to die, some in compromising positions. Soon boredom seems like paradise, as the town is trapped in a nightmare of fear. And now, with the killer due to strike again at any moment, Manning is afraid too, especially for Caroline. Her new lover's face is starting to look frighteningly familiar. This could be a police procedural, maybe, but I hope that it's a slasher. Thomas Altman has written a slasher before, so I hope this is kind of just the same kind of thing. Slashers and police procedurals historically kind of go hand in hand sometimes. It really does just depend on the focus. Because there are some slashers, especially like when you go like giallos, which like will follow the police kind of thing. But most slashers don't follow the cops. So this seems to be kind of split between like the main woman and then this ex-cop. So hopefully that's a slasher. I don't know. We will see. Next up, The Chatham Killing, which is another little paperback Western tale. The only reason I bought this is because growing up, I lived near a small little town named Chatham, and I fucking hated it. I hated that town. So The Chatham Killing just appealed to me. Last, but certainly not least, is Ghost Stories of the Old West, which is another kind of little anthology that just collects a whole bunch of ghost stories from the Old West. So I thought that would be a cool way to finish it off. Now, there are a number of other little things that I would love to read if I get the time. Most of those are kicking around on my Amazon wish list, so if I get time, I will buy those to read, but if I'm not going to get to them this year, there's really no use buying them until I can get to read them. So I hope there's a few other little Weird West tales and also a little bit more slasher tales in there, so depending on how my time goes, we will see if I continue on and read more than that TBR, or if I switch things up a little bit. So we will see. I would love to know if any of you guys are participating in this event, either of them, both. Are you like me and doing both? What are you reading? How are you reading? Just, in general. I hope you guys are having a good day, and cheers. Bye.